No! He's got the ring! He's got to take it to Mordor. Is Sam there to help him? Hurt him? We'll find out. Gollum! He's along for the ride. He's the guide along for the ride. But he still needs the ring. I'm forgetting people's names. Aragorn! He's the frickin' man. That girl, Merwin? Erwin. She's hot. Erwin. And we're at 30 seconds.
Welcome to The Cover, where three Hoosier friends judge books by their covers and movies by their trailers.
That's right. I'm Brett, here with my fellow Indiana natives, Remington and Marcus, ready to dive into the stories that keep us up all night and occasionally put us to sleep.
Whether you're a bookworm, movie buff, or just here for the witty banter, we've got you covered.
Each week, we'll dissect a different book or movie, sharing fun facts, hot takes, and moments that make Marcus cry. Spoiler alert, we're not experts, but we're definitely opinionated.
From literary masterpieces to blockbuster flops, nothing is safe from our snarky reviews and wild tangents. Who knew Hoosiers could be this entertaining?
So grab your popcorn and reading glasses because we're about to embark on a hilarious journey through the pages and screens that shape our lives. Or at least our weekends.
You're listening to The Cover. Let's get the show on the road before one of our kids wakes up.
I was down, but now
Feel great.
All right. Fantastic. Well, Marcus,
Yeah.
what's new? What's going on?
I noticed this week that we missed Con again.
Unbelievable. 2 years in a row.
2 years in a row.
Really, 37 years in a row.
We can't let this happen again. It's only been going on for 37 years.
No, we've been he's been alive for 37 years. I've been alive for
Crazy
38.
Coincidence.
What
yeah.
percentage of our listeners are French?
I don't know. We got the German ones.
2.7.
0.2%.
0.2%.
Because we haven't made it over there.
Yeah, well, this is ridiculous. So I asked Google, not ChatGPT, but Google. I asked Google, who can get invited to the Cannes Film Festival, right? And it says not everyone. It's very, very limited. But
Okay. I like the butt. I'm a butt guy.
to attend the main festival events, screenings, and the Marche des Fums,
It's my favorite part.
you need to be accredited.
Oh, we knew this.
This
we
is
talked about this.
usually granted to the film industry professionals like journalists,
Which we said we were.
producers, distributors,
Yeah.
etc.
We've had this conversation.
I don't think we've had this conversation.
Yes, we have.
67%
Which
of our
episode,
hosts,
Remington?
Early on, you read that exact thing, and I was like, oh, we can be accredited.
I don't think so.
And I've been
67%
knighted since then.
67% of our hosts have a blue check on Instagram that we pay for. So
Yeah, that's
we're
right.
Oh,
but you know
nice.
what?
We're
So does John Mayer.
Guess who gets on Instagram once a month? This guy. I
Yeah,
did
you
get
just
there.
liked
I
my
did get on there
videos.
today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I send you everything that I send everybody else. Just you'll catch up.
I feel very special.
I followed us on LinkedIn.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, I have not.
We are there.
Genuine excitement.
Yeah.
Did you say you worked there?
I need to change that.
That's the move. That's the move because
gotta change that.
when you add it as one of your jobs, everybody congratulates you on your new role.
I actually volunteer here. So if you want to make that a non-profit option,
You actually
it'd be
pay
great.
to be here.
Dang it. That's twice now.
I mean, that's what Zuckerberg did at Facebook for a while. That's what Zuckerberg did at Facebook for a while. He volunteered.
You know what they call those people? Entrepreneurs, business owners.
Yeah,
Just hanging out.
we're just volunteering.
Just hanging out. It's even better.
Homeless people.
Man.
Someday, if you'd like
I don't
to sponsor the podcast, email us at thecoverpod@gmail.com.
Or if you know someone that runs con.
oh yeah,
If you voice
how do we get accredited? That's what we need to know.
If you voice messaged ChatGPT and talked about con, I want you to ask them how to pronounce con.
Also, do they own France? Because we could just go there, right?
Yeah, that's what I've been saying. Same thing like
Oh,
Sundance.
that's a
We're
Jim,
going to Mormon land.
that's a Jim McGowan quote.
Jim McGowan special right there. They don't own the resort.
They don't own the resort. I'm gonna go. I'll just be there at the same time.
for a payoff trip.
Is it a
payoff trip?
We've done that.
Is it illegal? No. Frowned upon? Yes.
Guys, I've got some stats.
Ooh.
Stats. 2 of our episodes. So as I told you before, there's the majority, for the longest time, if someone listened to our podcast, they would listen to the first 10 in order.
Right.
So the first 10 were the top 10 for all year.
Yeah.
We're filming the 52nd episode today.
Wow.
52 episodes.
Dude, 1 full year. Haven't missed a week.
Have not missed a single week. Tried to. Multiple times. We tried to. And we're not ahead. This is coming out very soon.
Yeah.
But 2 episodes have cracked the top 10. 1, I think we all know, surged to the very top.
2 episodes lately?
Yes.
Oh.
Sorry, 2 episodes since the first 10 have surged through with our new listenership since we did the live show, The Princess Bride. The first one being The Passion of the Christ, officially number 1 all time,
Wow.
10% over listens from number 2. It is
It just keeps going.
growing.
Amen.
Crushing it.
What do you guys think the second one that's surging in the
This
top
is
10
after the top 10.
It's a book.
Did it come out this year?
It's a book, and it came out, I don't know. Yeah, I think so.
2025?
I don't know.
So, what did we do before Fever? Devil in the White City?
Yep.
Is that what it is?
White City. Devil in the White City is officially number 8 in listens. People like it. They like it a lot.
You know the other what's new that we should definitely cover, even though it'll be outdated by the time that this episode comes out?
Pacers?
Pacers and Racers.
Pacers
How
and Racers.
cool is it that we have the Indy 500 and Game
lifted the
3
ban.
on the same day?
So I thought that 500. I thought it was the largest sporting event of all time, and it had over 500,000 people.
It's the largest single day
sporting event.
sporting spectacle or whatever.
Well, for the 100th, there was over 1 million people in
the downtown, in the Speedway area, but not in the
right.
track.
Not
It
in the
holds
track.
250,000.
With the infield.
They call it a sellout with 350.
Got it.
And they
So, yeah,
haven't
there
done that in 10 years because...
They did for the 100th, and this is the 109th.
Yeah, okay. So
Yeah,
it's
there
been
was
about
1
10
million in and around the Speedway.
I was at the 100th. It was my first Indy 500
Oh, wow.
years. Yeah.
that I'd ever been to.
I've never been to any 500 in the stands.
Rossi won.
Were you in the snake pit? You
Been in the
guy?
pit anytime I went in the snake pit. One year I was like
PCB?
7 years old. 8
One
years
year,
old?
I believe 1 year I was 5 a.m. Like the minute the gates opened, we ran to whatever the third turn was on this hill that my buddy's parents have been at for 40 years. And you run and you have this huge tarp.
Yeah.
And you're just like unfolding and getting the tarp down as fast as you can because that's your spot now.
Yeah.
When you undo the tarp. And then my other friend Dan, they have gone down when they lived in Indiana for like 30 years straight, taken an RV and been there the whole week.
Wow.
And there's cement
you
people.
can take an RV onto the track?
Well, you can take it in the
Infield.
infield.
No way.
Yeah.
I said that as a joke. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
people don't you
camp
remember
out-
when the Pat
for the
McAfee
race?
show first
Dude,
started?
people camp
they
out
camped there
the
for
whole
2
week
weeks
beforehand.
inside.
But they're allowed to stay in there
Yes,
for
yes,
the race?
yes,
yes.
So when you watch the race, there's campers on the infield?
Yes.
Yes. There's people up on top of campers to be able to see.
That's wild.
Did you know there's a golf course in there as well, right?
I knew there's lots of myths.
Have you guys
and
played the
legends.
golf course?
I have slept on the golf course. I have not played on the golf
There's a
course.
story there.
Some beautiful grass. It's fantastic.
So my first Indy 500 was the 100th running, and we got there early, and we brought our coolers in and our lunch and everything else. And my wife's stepdad gave us the tickets because I'd never gone before, and I'm with 2 other friends. Okay,
Where's
so
he from?
Not my wife, but 2 of my friends, and
Where's he from?
New Ross.
New Ross.
Yeah, and these are great seats. Like almost start finish line. You can see turn 4. You can see turn 1. You can see it on the outside, and important in the shade.
Oh, nice. Got some
Okay,
overhang.
because it's up.
It does
It's up
get
high.
very hot on that day.
And I'm not kidding, man. Halfway through the race, I just took a little nap.
Just sitting up?
Took a little nap
That's a-
right there.
that's a Marcus
That's
Mangus
a
special right
Marcus,
there.
Marcus Mangus.
Taking many
move.
pictures of him fall asleep on his, just on his
I
wrist.
probably would have fallen asleep mid-battle in Middle Earth here. Just, you know what? I think it's time for a quick nap.
Well, welcome to the Cover Podcast. I'm your host, Brett Wiggins. As always, to my left is
Marcus Mangus.
He's got 4 beers and 1 mug. And sitting to my
two
right
beers.
is...
Remington Ramsey.
We answer 9 questions every week about one of your favorite books or movies. We already got one down. What was it? Sir Remington, second question. What are we covering?
Last time the
I brought 'em.
Fellowship
Do you wanna
is
actually read
broken. I'll just go ahead and start over. Last time the Fellowship was broken. Now the real war begins. In the Two Towers, Middle-earth teeters on the edge of darkness. Frodo and Sam march deeper into Mordor with the treacherous guide Gollum. Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli race to defend the last free peoples of Rohan, while Gandalf returns not as the Grey, but something far greater. Battles rage, alliances shift. The shadow of Sauron grows ever stronger. Then comes the final stand. In the Return of the King, the journey ends, but not before testing the very soul of every hero. Aragorn must claim his destiny. Frodo must survive the ring. And all of Middle-earth must unite or fall. From the haunting plains of Gondor to the fires of Mount Doom, it all comes down to one final choice: to rise or to be ruled. This is not just fantasy. This is legend. Grab your pipeweed and limbus bread. The boys are diving into the final chapters of Tolkien's epic.
We forgot our pipeweed.
That line is so funny. It just comes out of nowhere. He goes, "You're giving me the last of the smokes? I'm giving you the last of the weed." And then he just pauses and he goes, "You smoke too much, Pippin."
So we're doing Two Towers and Return of the King, 1 episode. Was going to be a special release. Rem watch Mean Girls. We're here.
I didn't
We're
watch
here.
Mean Girls.
I did not watch Mean Girls. We are watching that soon, though.
I don't need a reason to watch Mean Girls.
Also true. I had a crush on a couple of those ladies.
Oh, yeah.
Lindsay Lohan's height, I think. I mean, that's a
Oh
a
yeah,
good
peak Lindsay Lohan for sure.
peak Lindsay Lohan. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Rem thought I was saying she's tall. I don't know. He gave me a
I'm
look.
still thinking about it.
All right, good. So what do we know going into it? I knew
Into the last 2.
into the I
So what'd you know this week, Brett?
So
Just curious.
I knew after I watched the first one we were doing this episode tonight.
You knew we would do it immediately?
Oh, I watched it. I watched the first one on what was that? That was Sunday, and then literally we watched Monday, Tuesday. These two movies.
Before we did the filming of the last one, you had already watched the next 2?
No, it would have been Tuesday,
Tuesday,
Wednesday.
Wednesday,
Yeah, Tuesday,
probably.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
So Tuesday, Wednesday night, we were like,
Yeah.
we're done. And
First time you ever went through it.
correct. Yeah.
So you
No,
had
I do.
I just don't understand. I do not understand how you could be a millennial and not have seen these
Did
movies.
you sit through it and just not remember it?
So I definitely remembered. I saw one of them. I did see one of them in theaters. I don't know which one. And because I remember
because
them
it was
being,
one of those
I remember them
theater times.
It was probably. It was. I remember them being in the bed.
Brett loves movies.
at the
You
end,
loved them.
I
really excited.
You
for
were in
this.
the
made
bed
out with
you
more
were,
girls
You were in the
in movie
bed at
theaters.
the end. Got it.
He was in. I remember him being in the bed, and it was like the end. But I didn't understand that it was a. I knew it was a trilogy, but I didn't. I wasn't in it, so I'm like, that's the end of the movie. So it's probably Two Towers.
Dude, that's how I was with Hunger Games. Did not know that it just doesn't end. The Hunger Games are written where it's just like basically the end of a chapter, and the next chapter begins the next book. Like there's not like
I
the
don't
Lord.
know.
The Lord of the Rings at least have some finality at the end of Fellowship of the Ring, but like the Hunger Games, that was the first time I remember watching it, thinking, "Wait, what happens?"
Gotta wait a whole year.
Yeah,
There's a real cliffhanger at the end of Two Towers, though. Like when Gollum is saying that he's
he's
gonna
gonna
kill them.
Yeah,
And oh, she can take care of it.
yeah. Oh yeah.
There's a real.
And you're
cliffhanger
thinking,
there.
I remember thinking, is the elf lady coming back? Like,
Yeah.
who's she?
Yeah, I don't know if it's just my love for Jennifer Lawrence, but I love Hunger Games.
Oh, I do too.
Have you
love
read
them.
the books?
Nah, but
Have
I've
you
heard
guys
they're
read the
phenomenal.
new book that came out?
Is it the same series? Is it like the next saga?
Well, so she wrote Ballad of Snakes and Songbirds, right? Which is the story about Snow, and how he grows up.
Snow is
President Snow,
Yeah.
the evil guy.
yeah.
Well, it's the
He
story.
died.
It's the story. No,
The guy, the character that played him died, I believe.
This is the story about. Oh, I think you're right. Yeah,
'Cause he's a famous actor. I'll look it up.
yeah, he's very famous.
I was like, he's
And he's got a famous
Dead.
son. He's got a famous son that also
Jeez.
acts. No, so Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes is about the very first Hunger Games.
Oh, of all time, like the very
It's the first one.
Got it. That's
and
cool.
he's a mentor, and it's really interesting. And then
Jennifer Lawrence is not.
Donald Sutherland.
yeah, there we go.
Who's his son?
Kiefer Sutherland.
Oh,
24.
That's good. Don't you dare.
And then this.
That's not even.
Who's his son?
Oh, that's what we
First
should
of all,
do
I've
on
never
Memorial
watched
Day.
24.
That's what we should do on Memorial Day.
Is 24 worth the hype?
Is the Kiefer Sutherland
You know what?
Tom Cruise movie.
You went back and watched Lost.
Uh-huh.
I want to go back and watch 24.
Have you seen 24? How
Again.
would you know Kiefer Sutherland if you've never seen 24?
Because even if you haven't seen 24, it was the biggest show in the.
I'm aware, but when I said Donald Sutherland, who's his son, you didn't think
Dude,
Kiefer Sutherland.
he's also Designated Survivor, which is also very good. Except
thought-
for the third season.
Well, no, yeah, it gets a little weird, and by weird, you know what I mean.
Yeah, it gets very
Pretty
weird
quickly.
Oh,
yeah.
not a
When
fan.
once Netflix took over,
Oh, is that
it
what
was
happened?
a problem. Yeah.
Got it.
But the first 2 seasons of Designated Survivor are fantastic.
Great.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Maybe it's the same timing. Blacklist, is that the same time as Designated Survivor?
Yeah, they all were coming out at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard
Blacklist
that's
is
very good too.
nothing without
So it doesn't.
James Spader.
James Spader.
He's gone
Yeah,
after
he's
the
fantastic.
first season or something. Or
No,
No, he's-
they
he's
try to
in
make
all of
the
them.
girl the main character, but it's James
Oh.
Spader.
Yeah.
Because she leaves and he's still there.
Yeah, he's well.
Actually, I
I
haven't
mean-
seen the end of it, to be honest. But James Spader's phenomenal.
Marcus?
They ended Blacklist really well, and then they tried to create more seasons afterwards, and
yeah,
it's kind of
that's a book I would want to read. I would want to read the thoughts and life of James Spader. That dude, something. There's a lot of things going on in that head.
He's Ultron.
Yeah, he is.
James
Oh.
Spader is Ultron.
No way.
Yeah, the voice at least.
So we found out what
He's also in the movie The Mannequin.
Mm-hmm.
what I didn't know, or I did know going into it. Not quite sure.
Oh, are we still on that question?
Yeah, Marcus, what did you know going into it?
I mean, listen, I was however many years old in my teens and excited to go see this in the theaters, probably the first weekend. But I didn't know the story because I didn't ever read the books.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I've never read them.
Did you ever read The Hobbit?
Yeah.
Did
Not
you
only
read-
did I read The Hobbit, I was The Hobbit. I was Bilbo Baggins as a senior in high school. That was the most lines I've ever.
Typecasted you for sure.
That was the most lines I actually think he picked that play because of not only me because I was short, but we had a bunch of guy actors,
Yeah.
and you need a bunch of guys for those
For the
roles.
ensemble.
And so he did pick that. He picked that role with me or that play with me in mind my senior year. But that was the most lines I've ever had in my life.
Do you remember learning those, like the method you used to learn lines?
I just memorize them, man. I don't know how to explain it. And Reed's the same way. Like, I just read them and I memorize them.
Like I was thinking about that actually with The Chosen. We're going through The Chosen, so that's our default. And I was just looking at some of the cast members and some of their lines to deliver, and I'm like, I think I'd be really bad at memorizing lines.
Oh, I'd be horrible.
But maybe I wouldn't be, and I just need to do it.
I don't think you would be. I mean, it's not.
I would do it the way Leo does in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
where he's
with the
where he's
recorder.
like listening to the recorder.
Yeah.
I'd run them like with my mom and stuff sometimes, but mostly I would just read it and memorize them because you just kind of internalize it. But
Yeah.
that play was extremely hard because I never came off stage the whole
yeah.
play. And there was one scene, I was telling the kids this, there was one scene that we had with Gollum, and we were on stage in front of a live crowd. And it's an extremely important part of that play.
Yeah.
Because this is where Bilbo is getting the ring. And he's answering riddles
yeah.
back and forth. And I'm not kidding you, the kid that was playing Gollum was a sophomore. It's his first big role. It's just me and him on stage, and he skips 2 pages of dialogue. Oh. And so I had this out-of-body experience where I was responding to him,
But trying to bring it
also
back.
leading him and bringing it back around.
Yeah,
because
that's cool.
as soon as he skipped it, he gives me the biggest eyes in the world.
Like he knew he did it.
Like, oh yeah, he knew he messed up, but he was like, "How are we going to do this?" And
did you have someone sitting off off stage to like give prompts?
Like feed lines? No.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't that like just a given that you give prompts?
I mean, somebody probably would have because they're like reading the script, but nobody helped.
Yeah.
It was the most out of body experience I ever remember happening.
Yeah.
Is when
Just
I was
rose to the
saying
occasion.
lines, but thinking about how do I get this back around, and we made it happen. And it's right before intermission. And I remember walking off stage and the director just giving me a big hug. He's just like, I don't know what just happened, but that was awesome. And it was one of my proudest moments in terms of like in high school and
That's
in
cool.
acting and stuff.
Was the line right before intermission? What's in my pocket?
I don't know.
Because that's what in the book.
It might have been.
That's the riddle that stumps Gollum.
Yeah.
Because it's the ring.
Yeah,
in
that's
his
right.
pocket.
That's right. That's
When
right.
you said out of body experience and thinking about something while talking about another thing, I just thought about every in-person interview I ever read.
Oh yeah, that's very true. That is how it gets.
Yeah.
And that's what I try to explain to like the kids and stuff about when they're memorizing something is you've got to know it so well that you can't mess up. That way then you can focus on the performance and the other aspects
You're
of
saying
it.
group interviews where they ask questions and you nail it?
You're just rolling.
No, you're just roll. I didn't mean
it's
I didn't mean it in a good way. For the record,
Yeah.
I was thinking about like what am I gonna eat when this is over.
So
Yeah.
you're on autopilot?
Yeah.
Dude,
You're just saying
So-
it. Yeah. Until
we-
you stab yourself with a fisherman's solution.
when I
That
opened
never
up,
happened.
when I opened up my office, we specifically made the area where we cut food in a certain way where I had a list of things I wanted them to bring because that's how I
That's
ate.
what you want to do.
Oh yeah, me too.
So
I should
like
be
for day
teaching that.
for day 2 of
That's
training.
fantastic.
I did that all the time.
Yeah, because you cut up the
'Cause that
knife-
was my
you cut up
lunch.
the food. Yeah, oh for sure.
Yeah.
I was like summer sausage. Who's bringing the summer sausage? You
I
got to
did
get the
same
big one.
thing.
The big one.
I did the same thing. They
Yeah,
brought
the
my
big one.
lunch for
It's
sure.
it's this brand and it's $4.89 plus tax.
I'll just get the food. You guys pay me back.
You would not have said that
I
back
would
then.
not have said
Today, though, probably.
All right, 30-second synopsis. Marcus,
Branching in college is just the coolest experience.
dude, will you tell some of my branch managers? Because
I will tell-
It's fantastic.
Let me
They
tell you
don't
something.
know. They
So
don't know
I'm
what they're
giving,
wasting
I'm
right
giving. I'm giving the keynote at Brett's event on Thursday.
Yeah.
And I want you to know something. The managers I've noticed in the last couple of years, when people are speaking, they're off to the side on their phone, taking their break. They're gonna listen to this message because it's for them.
Love it.
And I just feel like when I was in that stage of
My
the
CSPs
game,
will be there to listen to.
when I was in that stage of the game, there was times where I realized I feel like I'm acting like I'm too good for this, and when I re-engaged and just acted like a student, I took off.
For sure.
I took off.
Absolutely.
Humbled myself, learned from everybody, just digested every
This is
audio.
becoming a thing where he goes for May and I go for June.
So wait, was that last year too?
Yeah, we
May and
did
June?
that last year.
That's great.
Yeah, and then we were on the panel.
So
July.
hey, we'll get you in August this time too. Don't worry.
I got to work on some new keynotes.
But no, I gave him 2 weeks this year to kind
Rem
of
selling books?
stumble away.
No, I already did to the main guy.
A little swap. But I gave him 2 weeks to kind of feel himself out, and then today we have Monday call every week. Today I finally just ripped into a couple.
You have to.
Yeah, it's time.
It's the
time.
perfect time
It's
to rip into him.
So
because
this will be good.
the summer is ahead at this moment, but they better go.
This is the time.
This is the week that Mandy Ferrari got scared.
Memories.
I remember it so vividly. Oh,
All right. What's our 30-second synopsis? I'm doing live slam poetry this week.
you want me to go then?
No.
Okay.
No, you got I'm not messing with
Oh,
your
I'm
flow.
ready.
I'm the one. Oh, you're ready?
Oh yeah.
Do it then. Yeah, go for
Yeah.
it. If you're ready, go for it.
All right. The Fellowship battles while Frodo and Sam enter Mordor.
Well done. Rem, when you set the
There we
mug down,
go.
it
There
gets
we
some
go.
reverb.
It is so great to get
Bow.
applause. It's
I
great.
love.
Yeah, no, by the way,
Fantastic.
shout out all of our guests at the live show. That was awesome.
We
It
got to
was.
do that again. We
It
got to
was.
do that again.
It was
That'll
our
be
best
fun.
episode just
That was
because you
awesome.
can hear what people are thinking.
Yeah, I the only part that
You know what somebody said to me, and I'm not going to name this person, but they said, or I was told that this person said this. Brett and Marcus carried the episode.
was
wasn't my wife.
No, here's the thing. There's as the official host that should keep us moving in the right direction. At our producer Nate's, he gives me feeds me things. The only regret I have is we went a little long on the Holocaust conversation. That's all. That's the only.
Wait, you listened to the episode?
Yeah, but it was real.
No, in real time, I knew.
No,
we were
didn't.
going
no,
a little.
in the episode, I felt like we could have gone slightly longer. Like we could have finished the thought.
I always feel like we're beating a dead horse. Sometimes we are, but that episode we were not.
No. With the Holocaust, we could have figured it out.
We could have figured out the whole thing. We could.
No, I mean it was just an interesting idea.
Yeah.
All right. So we got Two Towers and Return of the King.
Oh boy, here it comes! I'm so excited.
All right.
Hold on. Episode 1 is the first time that he did this just on the fly. In episode 52, he's doing it on
that's pretty
the
fun.
fly.
That's pretty fun.
This better be a real Nate.
All right, we're gonna make this 30. We're gonna go 30 seconds though. Okay. All right.
Make it a good reel.
Frodo. He's got the ring. He's got to take it to Mordor. Is Sam there to help him? Hurt him? We'll find out. Gollum. He's along for the ride. He's the guide along for the ride. But he still needs the ring. I'm forgetting people's names. Aragorn. He's the frickin' man. That girl, Merwin? Erwin. She's hot. Eowyn. And we're at 30 seconds.
What's that girl's name? She's hot. That's it.
She kills the Nazgul. It's awesome.
Do you think she's more attractive than Liv Tyler?
No, I was trying to say, who's the other girl?
Liv Tyler with the ears?
Who's the other girl?
They're both, one's Arwen and the other one's Eowyn.
Who's
One's
the elf?
Eowyn.
Okay.
The elf is Liv Tyler.
Liv Tyler.
The elf is
Steven
hot.
Tyler.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Steven
The other
Tyler's
girl,
daughter.
they act like she's a daughter. She's at least 40. There's no
She's
way.
not a daughter. She's a niece.
Brett definitely needs that.
She's the niece of
She's
the king?
the niece of the king of
Got it.
Rohan.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Got it.
Because his
good.
son
Thank
dies.
you.
One of his
Producer Nate just brought
Wow,
over
that
the cast
30
list.
seconds
One
was
of the
awesome.
lines that I've never forgotten is you should never have to bury your son. You should
Yeah.
never have to bury a child.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, that line just hit me when I was a kid because I was just like, why not? And then I was like, oh yeah,
Dude.
And now that's my greatest fear.
How interesting is it? How
And
interesting
now I
is
don't
it
sleep
since
at
you're
night.
there? You've got the King of Rohan. And I'm gonna mess up their names, but you've got the King of Rohan, and then you've got the Steward of Gondor.
Yep. Aragorn.
They both
No. He is the rightful heir.
Oh, sorry. The
He's talking
real
about the guy
heir.
that
Yes,
sets
yes.
himself on
You're talking
fire.
about the uncle that just is in place.
The Steward.
Steward.
They call him the Steward.
Boromir's dad.
Yes.
Yeah. And Faramir. Yeah. Boromir and Faramir.
He's holding.
Starts with a D.
He's holding a spot.
But anyway, the way that they both react to losing their sons is just so interesting and so telling.
So what? Okay. So the steward. His son isn't dead. Do you? And
Well,
he
Boromir's also his son,
right.
and he loved Boromir more.
Faramir though
Yeah.
is not dead.
Yeah.
Right?
Are we supposed to be led to believe that he doesn't realize it? Or
No, he knew. He knew his son.
He
wasn't
knew.
dead.
So why? So
he's just he's crazy at this point.
It's his
Got it.
pride.
He's crazy. He's crazy at this point.
He's
He
like, I want it
wants-
all to end.
He wants to die with honor. He's
got it.
He wants
and that
to
was
be,
his way.
He
to
wants
do
to
it.
be remembered. Not only does he feel like his kingdom's gonna fall, but even if it doesn't fall, Aragorn's gonna come and take over.
Gandalf at one point says, "Your dad will realize how much he loves you eventually."
to Faramir.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
He does at the very end.
at the very end,
At the very
right
end,
before he burns.
he's on the burning pile, and he looks and he goes, "My son." And then he dies.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So it is
It did come to
foreshadowing.
fruition. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. It was prophecy. Understood. Okay. Good.
By the way, I think it's in the extended version where Pippin sings.
No, he sings in
He
this.
does?
He's
Oh,
saying,
yeah.
unless
Okay.
I watch the extended version. That's good though.
It's actually it's in Two Towers when he sings, and it's as the steward is sending Faramir out.
Yes.
that's here.
Is it right here?
This is
he's
the-
about to.
This is not Two Towers. This is the third. It's,
Oh, okay.
Well, but it's where the steward is
Oh, yeah,
eating
yeah,
while
you're
they're
right.
battling. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Pippin singing made you stop and think, what else? Look at these transitions. This is 52 episodes in. This is good.
We really got this figured out.
What else? made you
27 minutes in.
stop
I
and
thought it was
think?
interesting. So if we're gonna do both movies, which we are,
Yeah.
Correct.
Gollum shakes his personality in the second movie.
Yeah.
You think, oh, he's got it. He's good now. Like you're starting to cheer for Gollum.
Never come back.
Yeah, and he's like, he's kind of funny, and you're like, I can cheer for this guy because now he's on
Yep.
our team. Who cares if he's weird?
Yeah.
He's on the other side. When does his split personality come back?
When Frodo, I wouldn't say call it crosses
No,
him.
he betrays him.
He did not betray him.
No,
He
no,
absolutely
no,
betrayed
they
him.
were
He
going to
saved
shoot him.
him.
They
He
were
didn't
going
have to
to.
do
They
it
were
that
going to
way.
kill him.
They
I know.
saved him. What
I
do you
don't
mean didn't have to
disagree.
do it
I don't
that
disagree
way?
with what you're saying. But they
This
were.
is ridiculous. This is a crazy take right off the bat.
No. He doesn't have to do it that way. Come here,
What
Gollum.
way?
Come here, Smeagol. He goes to him and says, "Hey, we're being watched.
Exactly.
Don't fight." That's what you do.
Right.
Now you brought on the crazy on yourself because you
He
lied
treated
to him.
him like a crazy
Yeah.
being again, and I think that was a bad move. But I don't disagree. He had to give him up.
I think if he tells him, "Hey, you're surrounded," Gollum freaks out and tries to run.
I mean, he won't
That's-
get any far. He's surrounded by soldiers.
He's
that's
he's
a
no, he's
fair-
gonna die. He's gonna get shot.
That's a fair take, I guess.
He's-
But that
he,
is.
he
maybe.
did that specifically to save him.
But that is a. Fair,
I know why he did it. I'm saying he did it poorly.
So was that going to be your answer? Though? That's when his split personality comes.
Oh,
back,
totally.
right?
Like
Yep.
when he
Wow,
feels
if
betrayed and
Remington
he's
was
known.
Frodo, he would have done it better.
Oh man, if I was Frodo, I wouldn't be a little bee.
Dude, your take from the last episode, it was in the back of my head all last two movies.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, he's been converted.
Now,
About Sam?
but also
I thought that was a Brett take.
he
my take.
didn't even destroy the ring. He got lucky and the ring was destroyed.
It took
He's
over,
not
man.
even the hero.
He took over.
I'm not saying it wasn't a huge amount of pressure on
the
him,
story is about Frodo. Frodo is the hero.
but he's not the actual. He got lucky.
Yeah.
He got lucky.
Yeah.
He didn't even try to destroy the ring. Now, I'm not saying
No, he did try to destroy the
So
ring.
did Isildur.
wanted-
Isildur also
Exactly.
tried to destroy
Yep.
the ring, didn't do it. You could make the argument Frodo didn't either.
Yeah, exactly. So, and we look. How do we look at what is his name?
Isildur.
How do we look at him? We look at him the way we would look at Frodo if it went the way
Totally.
Frodo wanted it to.
Totally. Because
Yeah.
he was consumed. Now, can you argue that he had he couldn't help it? Maybe. But Sam is the hero.
I agree. Frodo might be the only one that was going to get it that far. I agree with that. I'm not saying anybody's even capable of it.
I mean, I think,
By the way, you've never seen two real people in real life that look more like Sam and Frodo than producer Nate and his brother. It's unbelievable. We're gonna post a picture. It is unbelievable. Did you guys ever do that for
I don't know
Halloween?
if I've ever met your brother.
You
I don't
guys
know if
for
I've
this
ever met your brother.
Halloween, I
is
want
this
you to
Neil?
dress
This
up.
is Neil.
Yeah, when
How'd
he
I know
stood
his
up,
name is
when
Neil?
he
How'd
stood
I
up
know?
as his best man in his wedding, I'm like, that is Sam and Frodo.
I knew it. I knew it's Neil because your recent text on the Apple CarPlay.
It's
So
unbelievable.
Drew and you guys both have a brother named Neil. That's interesting.
Oh, Drew from Cleveland.
Yeah.
Nice. Drew from Cleveland, who just went out in 5 games, 6 games, 5 games.
5 games.
Man,
All
that's
right, I'm
rough.
gonna keep going.
Number 1 seed.
Yeah.
That's rough.
You know what else
One of the
made me
best
stop and
records in the
think?
NBA.
Tens of thousands, the 10,000 person army. That army is so epic. When
Not
Wormtail,
person.
Orcai. When
Yeah,
when
they're
Wormtail steps
orcs
out
and
and
Yeah.
sheds that single tear, that is such a memorable shot of his face.
Yeah.
And that's real. He sheds that tear like he can do that on command.
Oh wow.
And they made
Who was that? Sorry.
Wormtail.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Worm tongue.
Worm tongue.
Yeah, Wormtail.
Wormtail is Harry Potter.
Oh, who is the
Worm tongue
Scarlet
is
Letters or
By the way, it's
C.S. Lewis?
it is Balfrog with a G. It is. I looked it up.
It's not bullfrog,
It,
which is
I didn't
what you were
say
saying.
bullfrog. I said Balfrog, and you guys tried to correct me saying Balfrock, and that's not true. It's Balf. It's a G. Just so you know.
Yeah, but it's like pronounced
Yeah,
German.
but you got to say it like
you got to
him.
say it for our German listeners. Balfrog.
Come on, bro.
I'm gonna bow out
Not
on this
gonna
one
win this
because if that's
Hey,
true,
were you surprised by the way? Because I told you that Gandalf the
Worm
Grey
tongue.
dies.
Grima worm tongue.
So here's the deal.
He looks like the lead
I
singer of
told.
the
I
Used.
did. I told you that
Did you guys
Gandalf
listen
the
to
Grey
the
dies.
I fig, but and that's true technically,
It
right?
is technically true. I wouldn't lie to you.
So I knew there were. I wanted to believe it's like, dude, he's got to come back. This is an epic role. It's got to be in the whole thing.
Who?
Gandalf.
Well, the whole last episode,
Oh, yeah, I
when
remember.
I told him that Gandalf the Grey dies,
Yeah.
and he was upset with me.
I did not foresee that's how he comes back. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But I remember Chris Gibson made a comment about Elliot at one point, maybe, I don't know, 7 years ago. Elliot went through a full like personal growth transformation, probably like, I don't know, 7 years ago. And Chris made a comment. I was like, he like went down Gandalf the Grey and came back Gandalf the White. And now I
in your head.
And now I totally
That's
get it.
funny.
I totally get it now, and I didn't get it before. But yeah,
And by the way, no bigger compliment could you ever give.
Yeah, that's right.
there you go.
I got some notes from Elliot
For Lord of the Rings?
for this episode.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mhm.
All right, shout out
There's
Elliot
some good ones.
From
Elliot
Evansville?
from Evansville.
from Evansville, Evil.
Yeah.
Technically, or he's not. He's
Yeah.
not.
Oh,
he's
yeah.
definitely not a Newburgh guy.
Downtown.
I know that.
Downtown Evansville.
Oh,
Yeah, like old school.
yeah.
The
Yeah.
ghetto.
Old money. Old
Yeah.
money. Okay, gotcha.
Right next to Brooke Bernhardt.
Speaking of old money, old men and boys,
I thought Brooke was Ashley.
I
Remember
know.
that?
old men and boys recruited to defend and fight.
Oh yeah.
Do our men know how to fight? Does it matter to us anymore? Should every man know how to fight?
Probably.
Yeah, I think that's a good rite of passage skill.
I feel like every man should know how. If you're sitting there watching and you're thinking, I don't know what I would do in a fight, I think that's a problem.
Yeah.
I think every man should have some type of feeling in their body if they hear or think of something where they need to defend and they think, I don't know what to do, like you should
Yeah.
get that looked at.
So I can't confidently say that I would quote unquote know the strategies or what to do, but I know my adrenaline would cause
You could
me
be
to
a-
do something.
I don't think
right. Like
I got a hot take for you. I
Yeah.
don't think that's good enough.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying it is.
I think it's better than a lot of men that would shy away. Like I don't know anyone personally who would, but like
Like we need to know how to shoot guns
I
and
think
stuff.
yes, I think we need to know how to shoot guns. I think we know how to throw punches. I think we know how to defend ourselves. I think we need to be able to stretch.
Well,
I
you're
think
a knight. You know how to do all these
I do,
things.
but I think you should be able to know where to go in your house. I think your kids should know what to do. Like all those things. Like it's coming. Like Jesus says, exchange your cloak for your sword. And like I went down this rabbit hole with you actually 2 weeks ago,
Yep.
just talking about like this concept of Jesus being gentle and lowly. But right near the end of his ministry, he started saying, "Sword up, it's coming."
That's true.
It's pretty interesting. A lot of people think he was
It's
a
funny.
pacifist.
The 1% of thinking or knowing how to do those things puts you ahead of a very, very large percent of the rest of the population.
I have a
Totally.
sweet K-bar knife.
Totally. It's not hard, by the way. That's no joke. You should keep that around.
I have
Keyboards
it
are
around.
Awesome.
It's in my office.
That's true for everything, by the way. Like
Sure.
if you know 1% how to play the piano, that's more than most people. Like being a Renaissance man in 2025 is not that hard.
Yeah. Yeah. The bar
Nobody
is
knows
set
how to do anything.
very low. Yeah. Very, very
Like
low.
we don't.
I pulled weeds
I know
this
how
weekend.
to.
Hey, look at you.
I know how to record a podcast.
So you know how to do girl stuff too.
Marcus, you know how to talk
Cancel.
into
Coming
a,
at you.
Cancel.
Marcus, you know
35 minutes in.
Marcus knows how to
Just kidding,
talk
I
into
picked-
a microphone on a podcast. I don't know that you know how to record a podcast.
I have a general idea.
It's funny because Riley was like, I just want you to remember I got a callus from helping you with pulling the weeds. So she was...
So she had one
That
callus.
was- but
Congrats,
that-
Riley.
She sent me a picture of it. One
Cool.
callus. But also, like, where the callus is on top of her middle finger in between her two knuckles.
How is she pulling those
I
weeds?
don't know, but I think it's from using the rake, maybe.
Why
to
were
get
you
it.
use? Yeah,
I don't know, man.
I'm not sure you guys know how
we-
to pull
we
weeds.
Says the guy who has his 13-year-old mow his lawn now. So
Listen, that's actually very difficult to do.
have your 13-year-old mow your lawn.
Yes,
Because it's not going to be
he's
very.
not
It's not
doing
going
as
to be
good of a
perfect.
job as what I'm.
Oh,
gonna
have him
do.
mow the backyard then.
He did do the
I
backyard.
like it. That's a good.
That's
that's
how you get
good.
started.
Yeah.
Right?
No, you got it.
Yeah,
No,
no one's touching my front
Listen.
yard. I mow my front yard twice a day. like no one's touching that.
If you mowed your front yard twice a day, you would have Shoe Dog listen to you by now.
Oh man,
Mhm.
I do love. That
I will
book.
say, if you ever decide to turn over Ed Gannon, it's a great job.
that book is making me reconsider like how to write.
Oh, it's so good.
I don't know who wrote for him,
I don't know either.
but there's no way he wrote it.
if he did
And if
write
he
that,
did, I need
he
to
needs
meet
to
him.
write more.
Yeah, it's so well written
It's
from the humor,
incredible.
but then telling the story.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And by the way, Michael Jordan mentioned once.
haven't gotten that far yet. Don't spoil it for me.
literally once.
You said he wasn't mentioned at all, so
Okay,
He gets mentioned.
it's in
W for us.
It's,
Hey.
in, it's, in, it's in the appendix when he's thanking people.
Do you guys think the orcs, back to Lord of the Rings, look significantly less scarier in Two Towers than they did in
well,
Fellowship?
it's in the day.
Well, also
It's in the day versus the
also
night.
Got it.
they're
And yes.
not all orcs. So you've got the Uruk-hai,
Yeah,
and
the
you've got
Uruk-hai.
the orcs.
Uruk-hai are like are they some sort of
So
Orcs
the
are dorky little,
the
like-
Uruk-hai can actually be in light, whereas the orcs not so much.
What?
Got it.
Orcs
And they're
can't be
almost
in light?
like
I don't think so.
they're almost like a ape / man / orc.
Oh,
They're
that's
kinda-
true
I don't
because
really
of
know.
Rings of Power. Guys,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Rings of Power is good. You should
What's the-
actually,
what's
if
the
you
com-
I need
enjoyed
to
this,
watch the
Brett,
second
what's the
season.
if
commitment?
you enjoyed this, you need
I need to watch
get
the
on
second
Prime and
season.
watch Rings of Power.
Yeah, it'll
You'll
all
you'll
make
be
more sense
captivated.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it makes perfect sense already, Marcus. But I guess if you have to watch,
it'll
it.
make even more sense.
What will make sense? The Rings of Power or Lord of the Rings?
Lord of the Rings makes more sense.
I also think everyone that's listening to this should set aside time
What-
to read the book.
What's
It's so
the
good.
What's the movie? What's the movie with the emo weird brother that keeps on
Wedding Crashers?
Is Grima
Would that make you love me?
is Grima the emo little brother of
Yeah.
the family?
Yeah,
It's
for sure.
definitely him. They pulled one of the movies pulled from the other for
What's
that
the
role.
one movie with the emo weird brother? Wedding Crash.
Immediately.
I knew what he was talking
Oh
about.
yeah, he knew what I was talking about.
The weird
Favorite
brother.
non-pornographic? No. Never mind.
The flood scene in Two Towers is so satisfying.
Oh, it's so good.
You just want to see it destroy more things,
Dude,
and
when
fill in the
Ents
gaps.
are fantastic in general.
The Ents are really funny. Okay, so a little bit of movie magic with the Ents. They spend an entire
Those
movie.
weren't real.
They spend an entire movie deliberating and arguing. Should we go to war?
Yeah.
The entire movie, they say no. In 1 minute, he goes, "Oh," and they're all like, "All right, let's go." And then from day one, I've always noticed
Well,
that.
that might be the point, because how often do we ignore conflicts until we are involved?
Until
I
it
get it,
affects
but he
us.
those have enough time to
Which
tell
is the
every
exact
single one of those
opposite.
guys, "Hey, we really should go to war." Like they're like, "Oh, he screamed, let's go."
You know, the interesting thing is it literally affected everyone except the hobbits. I didn't think of this until like this
Well,
minute.
no, it was coming.
It probably would have.
That's what
But
they
it
kept
di-
saying.
it
He
didn't
kept
get
saying
to the Shire.
I
there is
under-
going to be no Shire.
I understand that that's what they said, that there would be no Shire. However, everyone else had
Was being affected.
a personal stake right then and there.
Right.
And the hobbits did not. What?
How excited would you be to light that fire?
Dude, can you
Dude,
imagine
so
like
yeah,
guarding
if
those
you're
things?
just sitting on the mountain for your whole
we
life.
get to light it?
Holy crap. It comes.
Mom, look.
Okay, so what we're talking about is there might have been an exact term for this, but basically, if you were in need of help, you would
From a
light
different part of the
you would
country.
you would light your kingdom's fire, and then that would be the signal for the kingdom
On the
east
highest
or
point,
west
the
of you.
Acropolis,
Yes.
the Acropolis of the area.
Then they would light theirs, and that's how and literally, as I'm watching this, I'm
That's
like,
how either
that's-
Gondor or Rohan would let the other know.
I was just like, that's literally how they communicated.
because they were
Yeah.
a 3-day ride away.
It's but it's so odd. Like,
Well, what it really reminds me of is the Great Wall of China, right?
Yeah.
by the way, I don't even know what is the objective of the Great Wall of China.
To keep out the
Keeps out
Huns.
the Mexicans.
So, wrong wall.
What? Haven't you guys
Nate's
been
never
watching
been
the
more
news?
scared. But why
Am I
did
the
you?
only one that watches Fox News at night?
But Marcus, why did you compare it to this? If that's the reason, I don't.
Because if there was a threat that was coming, anyone along the wall could light the fire, and then every other turret,
there's fires along the wall.
every other turret would light the
Got it.
fire, and it would let them know.
That was
Haven't
not
you ever
part of the
seen
answer.
Mulan?
Yeah.
The real one, or is
Any of them? I don't care.
Because I've seen bits and pieces of both. But
Charlie asked me today, Dad, when you were my age, what was your favorite movie? Which I thought was a great question for the cover.
That
She
is a good
listens. She goes,
question.
"Was it The Princess Bride?" I was like, "Are you just asking that because you listened to the cover?"
Dude.
She goes, "Yeah."
Jude and Olive thought that the name Princess Buttercup was the funniest thing
they just
in the world.
couldn't get over it.
Yeah.
It's
So
funny.
that
I'm
was so
excited to share my kids' movies when
What
they're
was your
appropriate
favorite
age.
movie when you were 7 or 8?
So my answer
I guess she's
was
8 now, right? She's 8.
8. So my answer was 3: Lion King, Toy Story, and Aladdin.
1995.
So mine would
Those
have
are my
been.
favorites.
When did Space Jam come out?
Mine's probably Space Jam. 94, I think.
So it would have been during his
No, it was
retirement.
when he came back from baseball. It was 95.
Well, no, but it was.
Came out in November '96.
Oh
Yeah.
wow!
Okay, so
But
I
he
can't
filmed
say
it in
Space
95.
Jam.
Dang it!
Mm.
Yeah, Space Jam would have been favorite CD, favorite movie.
Was Mighty
favorite.
Ducks out?
Mighty Ducks would have been up there.
Mighty Ducks.
It
Mighty
would have
you
Ducks.
know
been.
what?
It would have been when I was converting, because then she's like, "Okay, but what about when you were a couple years older?" And I was like, "So then I started going down."
Yeah,
Remember
probably
Indian in
Mighty
the
Ducks.
cupboard?
Well, actually,
Yes!
D2. I
Indian
bet
in the
D2 was
cupboard.
out by
My
95.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure
Yes.
and Bill
I've
and
not seen
Ted. That was my favorite go-to over and over and over again. And
when
then
you were 8.
for sure, something in there.
Really? Yeah. D2 would have been my answer when I was 8.
Yeah. Is that the one where he has the knuckle puck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was good.
I think I was more surprised about Gandalf because my first note in Two Towers is Gandalf lives. Yes,
I know. I was hoping that would make our
So I think I
your
underplayed that a little
slam
bit.
poetry.
Yeah, well, you know,
Because I was trying very hard to convince you that he dies.
well, I think you may have overtried because I remember going into it going, I think he's gonna live, but then that note would speak differently to it.
I agree.
But yeah, Vector May happens, so you know we got lab slam poetry.
Marcus, you were talking about being typecasted because you were short.
Yeah.
They
I was
were-
also LeFou.
They were recruiting. They were recruiting men to play the Urukai, who
I don't think that was because you were short. Anyway,
a lot of
continue.
the men playing.
Yes, I've seen these Disney movies now.
Gosh, it disturbs me to see you, Gaston.
Oh man, many of parties have Marcus shut down with karaoke of Disney songs.
Looking so down. and
Sometimes
so
they just
dumb.
keep
They
going.
couldn't recruit enough 6'8" men to play the Urukai, so they recruited some 5 foot tall to cast as well, and they just digitally impose them. They were affectionately nicknamed the Orc Low. Did you hear that, Mangus? This was for you.
Oh, I didn't. I'm sorry.
So the men that were shorter than 6'8", they recruited some guys that were like 5 foot, 5'5" to play the Urukai, and they just digitally made them taller.
Nice.
They were affectionately nicknamed the Orc Low.
Yes, that's what I need to be.
The Urukai and the Orc
Me and
Low.
You know what I would watch, and maybe Rings of Power is this. I would watch a spin-off of Legolas or Gimli.
Just
what
their-
happens after, dude?
Hot
Legolas
take,
is
hot,
in.
hot take from Jessica, by the way. We're watching these again, and she says during Return of the King, she says, "Not this is pre-cleaned up Viggo Mortensen." She says, "You know what? As a young girl, I was really more into Legolas, but now, as an adult."
Aragorn?
The Viggo, yeah.
Is it
Aragorn,
because of his
Viggo
like
Mortensen.
leadership, like manliness?
I think it's just because he's the one that's the most like me.
Scruffy.
Yeah.
He's a man.
Yeah, just a
He's
real
amazing.
man. You know, like he's the hero. Like and I know that Lord of the Rings is a story about Frodo, but he's the hero.
Well, think about this. If he doesn't save, he saves Pippin or Merry? He saves Pippin. He saves Merry.
These sets are so gorgeous.
There's a lot of things that
Yeah.
would not happen if he doesn't do his job.
and on many,
all of them.
Yeah,
in
all of them.
many, yeah,
Yeah.
that's one of the neatest things about this movie is that there's just no agenda. Like,
Oh, yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just a story.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of the reasons it's
Good.
so
No, there's an
captivating.
agenda. It's a good triumph over evil. Like,
Well,
it's not
yeah,
a
okay. I'm just saying, like, there's no like we have to get a certain amount
Modern,
of yeah,
oh, yeah.
like the modern stuff.
We used to be a proper country. Yeah.
I'm just saying, it just has everything, but it was really interesting to me to have this like essentially war saga, right? And you've got this band of brothers, this fellowship, who really develop a friendship. They come together as strangers, essentially, and become so close that
It's
by
very
the-
cool to see
that
them all
by
together.
the end, you know, he says, "I never thought I'd die next to an elf," and he said, "How about next to a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know? And that's so beautiful, that like male friendship
Yep.
that is just exhibited through the entire movie. It's incredible.
Yeah. You brought up the sets, Rem. What percentage of like the kingdoms, the all of the different landscape is CGI? What is it? Like any?
The CGI is not primarily. No CGI was used for like the actual landscape. That is New Zealand.
Yeah.
The CGI was for some of the epic battle scenes where they needed to. They actually
Why didn't we film this in
they actually
New Zealand?
used very large TV screens, like 12-foot tall like TV screens, to digitally impose some of like the war scenes. So the Battle of Helm's Deep was so grueling. It went on for months.
Yeah.
Like the actual battling, the scene of Helm's Deep.
It
went on
feels
for
like
months.
it goes on for months.
They had so many extras that they made an extra T-shirt for half the extras were on the Uruk-hai and the other half were the elves. And so like you would, it was pretty common in New Zealand for the years to follow. Like you just be on the street and you'd have like a T-shirt that was an extra, and you'd be like, hey.
So were there any
apparently-
CGI to act like for the big battles? Like
There was
obviously
CGI.
the 10,000 whatever.
Well, those elephants did all that stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
From
Train those elephants.
it's just amazing though. Like you brought up the water.
They crushed all the horses.
It looks so good.
Oh, yeah.
It does.
It looks
Yeah,
so
when
good.
when the horses are running into each other, into the spears and stuff, like it's hard to see like a guy wearing aviators. Like
So
in,
you said
like in
you said
Gladiator.
Helm's Deep. That battle, one of the turning points for that battle is when the elves come.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know this, but Elliot from Evansville.
Well, the elves come before.
For Helm's Deep now. Helm's Deep is the Two Towers battle.
Right. So
The elves come in.
they come in before the battle even comes to them.
I know, but that is a turning point in terms of morale.
Yeah,
like,
I
oh, we
gotcha.
can actually do this. In the book, the elves don't come. That was an addition that Peter Jackson made that I think adds a lot of complexity to the story.
For sure. Yeah, I didn't remember that.
I mean, I didn't know either, but thank you, Elliot.
Great
yeah,
job.
because when you see like just the logistics of one of those single rocks from the trebuchets hitting the castle, you're like,
Yeah.
oh, this is going to be over in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like there's 300 minute
Yeah.
boys, and
Right.
Gandalf doesn't get there until the dawn. Like
That's another fun movie, The 300.
300.
Oh, that
It's good. Digitally
Add
imposed
to
abs.
added to the list. Yes.
Gerard Butler's.
Here's a fun
Welcome.
fact. Henry Mortensen, the first orc that Aragorn is seen killing in the fields of Pelennor, is played by Viggo Mortensen's
Brother.
son.
Oh, son.
His son. Yeah. The first orc that he kills.
Wow.
That'd be pretty fun working with Dad.
So, Smeagol stole the ring first.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
found. Well, okay.
stole it. Yeah. He stole it. And why does he call
He
people?
killed his friend. His
Why does he
best
call
friend.
people my love?
My precious.
No, he says my love to multiple people, including his friend Deagle that he
kills.
killed.
Mhm.
Called my love.
Yeah, was he always a douchebag, or did the ring like take him over? Because they fight. Here's the thing.
Is that the only person that he calls my love?
No, he calls Frodo or Sam. He calls someone else my love as well.
for sure, my love?
Yeah, my love.
Probably Frodo if it's one of them. I didn't catch that.
Cultural
I don't know.
differences.
Weird.
But he is the ring.
hobbits
The
are a
ring
little
just
weird.
takes him over immediately because like the other dude that's like fighting him for this ring. Like why?
Well, the same thing happens between Sam and Frodo.
I think it's the ring. The
It
ring
is
like,
the ring.
literally like takes them over.
It does.
But also it reveals more of who you are because Frodo doesn't kill anyone with the ring. Bilbo almost does though.
No, Frodo does not, but that tension between Sam and Frodo that's meant to mirror Smeagol and Friedel, you said was the other guy?
Deagle.
Deagle, is really interesting because Sam thinks that Frodo's dead, and he takes that ring, and he's like, "Well, no, we have the ring, Mr. Frodo," you know. and he almost doesn't give it back, and you think that Frodo's gonna attack him,
Okay.
and then all of a sudden he does give it to
in
him.
that scene when that's happening.
Like, that's redemptive, right?
Is Sam doing that because he doesn't trust Frodo, or is he also in that moment
I think
kind
that-
of like, wait, I kind of want this ring
He
now?
wants
I read it
He
in the
wants
it.
second.
I think it's the second one.
Really?
I do.
No, I think he took it initially
I go back and forth.
for what you just said.
I think he's struggled so much. How many times has he said, Frodo, you're not yourself. Like, let me just carry the burden. Honestly meaning it.
Yeah.
And when he's holding it out there, he's like, the only thing that
He
has me
wants
siding
to
with
take
you
it back.
guys
He wants
is
to
that
take it back.
Frodo is himself at that point. He's not saving him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wants to take it back. I won't talk about this much more, but I just have to mention that Gimli during the battles is like the funniest one.
Yeah.
It is funny.
It's
he cares so much
it's
about his
such
score.
great comedic relief because he is a great soldier and he does kill a lot of people, but he always like competing with Legolas and has no chance. You know?
He had so much makeup on that it started messing with his skin and they ceremonially threw his mask and his makeup into the fires of Mordor when the filming was over. and the whole cast cheered because they knew it that he hated it so much. That's a fun fact.
That's awesome.
You gave Sean Astin his props last movie. I finally bought in. What a performance.
Okay,
yeah.
I wrote this down.
What a performance. Yeah, go
I
ahead.
wrote this down at the this is the last note that I wrote that said, made me think. I just wrote, Rudy.
Yeah, at the end of the film.
Yeah, right at the end.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty great, right?
His
his
speed. He has a monologue essentially twice,
yeah.
I think, and they're amazing.
I mean, when he says, I don't think we're coming back. Like, I don't think there's going to be a return journey. But they still push forward. And then he says, I don't know if this is exactly what you're talking about, but when he says, I might not be able to carry it for you, but I can carry you.
That too.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, that's when I wrote down Rudy. Because he's getting it done, you know? That's pretty awesome.
His integrity is. Show me a movie
I mean,
character that
none
has
of this
higher integrity
happens
than
without
Sam.
any of the others, and that's the beautiful thing, right? Is that like that initial fellowship?
Mm-hmm.
None of this is possible without any of the others.
Yeah.
All of the things have to go right. My kids kept watching this, and especially Reed and Colby, and they just were putting all these pieces together, and they like playing Legend of Zelda, and they like other fantasy things, and they just kept saying, man, I feel like everything that I've watched or like played video games or whatever copies this.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, they almost felt like this was an origin story.
It is the standard.
And that everything else copied this.
Yeah.
And I thought that was so cool that they recognized that. Like, there was a point in which I just needed to get this movie watched, and so I started watching it while Colby was doing something else, and she was angry with me.
Oh, yeah.
Because she was like, no, I'm in. Like, I'm invested.
Yeah.
And now she's begging me to read, because I told her I wasn't going to let her watch the Hobbit movies until we read the Hobbit. So she's like, well, do you have it? You know, so she can read it.
The Hobbit is so good.
And
Some
so
say it's better.
it's not better.
Some think it's actually better.
It is not.
I have it written down here. Fun
That's
facts.
the worst
Hey,
take you've had
some
in a
say it's
year.
better.
Here's something.
That's the worst take you've had in a
So
year on this.
here's something I have written down that I cannot remember what I meant. I did not have Papa Elf saving the entire day with the sword of Aragorn on my bingo card. What did I mean?
What on earth?
I did not have Papa Elf
who's played by
saving
Bob Newhart.
saving the entire day with the sword for Aragorn.
You're talking about Samwise,
Okay. No,
right?
I know. I
Because
would have called him Papa Elf.
no, of Aragorn.
For
Oh,
Aragorn.
Papa Elf. Oh.
Oh, yes. Oh, what's his name?
Elrond.
From Elf.
Yes.
Elrond.
What's her, the agent?
Elrond puts
Agent.
it together.
The agent.
Oh, reforging
Mr.
the sword.
Anderson.
Reforging the sword.
I did not
You went
have.
with Papa Elf.
Yeah, because he's the head elf.
the head elf.
I understand.
But
come on.
I didn't have him being like, all right, this is what we got to do. I did not see that coming.
By the way,
How about you
he's
guys?
Mr. Smith But you always think of him as Mr. Anderson because he says
Mr.
Mr.
Anderson.
Anderson.
He called him the agent.
I call him
Yeah.
the agent, but yeah, Mr.
Yeah.
So yeah, him
him
saving the day, come on.
reforging that essentially out of his love for his daughter.
Yeah.
is
And by the
really
way, who
fascinating.
wants to live forever? Not me.
You are gonna live forever, bro.
Facts.
Not in this world.
Who wants to live
Not in
on
this
Earth or on my current planet forever?
They're in Middle Earth, and it's the Shire, and they come in pints.
Come
So
and find
And they also go to that whatever.
like people are like acting like this is a big deal. She's choosing him over immorality.
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 She's choosing him over immorality.
that's good.
Immortal.
Being immortal.
Being immortal. It's not that big of a deal.
All right, listen. The Lord of the Rings trilogy became the most nominated film in franchise Academy Award history with 30 nominations, surpassing 2 franchises.
Godfather.
Godfather was number 1 with 29. What's the second one? How did you know Godfather?
Because I don't know, it just seemed obvious to me.
Yeah, Godfather had 29. 29.
Okay. So what's the other one?
Yeah,
that
what's
had
the
a
other
lot?
franchise that had 21?
Oh, jeez.
Those are the only ones close to Lord
I
of
don't
the
think
Rings.
it's Saw.
I mean,
not
you're
Saw,
not
it's not
counting. You're
Indiana
not counting.
Jones.
James
Indiana
Bond
Jones.
doesn't count.
It's not Bond.
I'll-
Does it
I
even
feel
have a
like I'll
single
get
Oscar?
there. Is it The Mighty Ducks? No, I'm just kidding.
Bum, 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 bum,
Star Wars.
bum, 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 bum. No,
Oh,
no, just kidding.
yeah, that
What
was
did you think
it.
is Indiana Jones
That's
for a second?
No,
That's
that's
interesting.
but that,
As that
yeah,
Star
that's
Wars
a-
has. I don't think
Star
about
Wars has
Star
20.
Wars
That's a-
as like
that's a
Academy
Steven-
Awards.
Because they got them all in the
Spielberg.
first 3 movies, probably.
Steven
Steven
Spielberg
Spielberg.
and George
George
Lucas.
Lucas.
They would have gotten a ton for all the special effects and music
Yeah.
and everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, the score here in this movie is fantastic.
Telling you, it's
Like-
we talked about it in the first episode.
I know.
All right, so you just said score.
good.
You just said the score here. It made me
Score.
think when me and all my friends, when we were 18 years old, summer break after senior year, told my buddy's dad, who had a van, that we were going to go camping. We were really driving 4 hours to Mount Pleasant, Michigan, to go to an Indian reservation casino. And
I
went
remember
there-
this story.
We went there, and we were experimenting, and we're in the hotel room, and we order a bunch of room service with our last dollars that we have. And the guy gives room service, and one of our friends, they're just standing staring at each other at the door. And he can't remember, did I pay or not? So he just goes, so, what's the score here?
That's the only words he could come up with.
What's
Oh,
the score
man.
here? We're just done. The score here.
I get it.
All right, so my favorite battle moment is when the Rohirrim come in and
From the side.
and they're coming in there, and then they turn and they see all these like elephants and more people coming at them, even though they've just won this small victory, and they are worn out, and they say, line back up and let's go at these elephants and these huge guys
Yep.
and everything else. And then I will say that like watching this with my daughter and then seeing Eowyn take off the head of that Nazgul,
Yeah.
and then her and like ripping off her helmet and being like, I'm no man, and stabbing the Witch King, like that was pretty
That's
legit.
cool, and I'm glad you had that moment. It is the worst delivered line and the worst line of the entire trilogy.
I get it.
She goes, if you're going to listen, if you're going to empower the woman like you're wanting it for your daughter, you don't say, if you touch him, I will kill you. I'm sorry. Are we not in war? Is that not what you're trying to do?
So that's the
worst line.
I'm no man is not the worst delivered line.
I didn't even know she said that. I was too encumbered by that.
because
If you
he
touch
says-
him, I'll kill you.
because
Well,
he's-
yeah, it's battle.
Because he says no man gets between the Nazgul and his prey.
Yeah. But
And
right
then
after that,
she's
she
like,
goes,
I'm no man.
"If you
By the
touch
way,
him, I'll
my
kill you."
favorite, ever since we started watching this, I've been like seeing memes show up on social media, and my favorite one was Uh, my favorite one was Gandalf explaining to, I guess it would have been Pippin, and Pippin's like, why is he called the Witch King? And then Gandalf says, because he weighs the same as a duck.
On the meme?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I came out.
You know what that's from, right?
Oh, yeah, from Monty Python.
By the way, I also heard this week that there's a brewery that's down in New Albany that is based entirely
Off
on
of
Monty Python.
Monty Python.
And so if we ever do Monty Python,
Quest
the
for
Holy Grail or something.
Oh, we're totally going to do that.
Then what we should do is we should do it there.
Done.
How fun
that's
would
fun.
that be?
Ooh. Are we going to medieval times?
Oh, Chicago?
Yeah. I don't know why,
We'll
but we should.
redo
We should
the
go.
Knight's Tale.
Yes.
We should go. And
Yes.
while we're in New Albany, we can order some mailers.
Or cable guy.
So I did not see
You
Smeagol.
still do mailers from New Albany?
Yeah, whole company. Yeah. Well, supposedly.
Mm.
I don't know if
It's a
they
good way to
actually send
pocket some
of them.
cash.
Did not
Yeah,
see.
no kidding.
Did not see Smeagol's.
Hey, I got a guy if you want.
did not see Smeagol's end coming. I did not foresee that.
Oh, it's perfect though.
It is. However, so he lived how long? 500 plus years?
Yeah.
How do you live that long without ever having an accident? Very impressive.
Well, he's
The-
alone.
The type of life he was living. Did you see how he's climbing mountains and stuff? Like
He fell off at a freaking cliff.
500 years, no accident. Very impressive.
Right. Like he should have died.
He should have
He
died.
should have died. Should have died. Spider fight. Epic. Sam's spider fight.
Did it explain how Aragorn lived unnaturally? Like that, like how did he have, but whatever he had around his neck is what gave him that long life? I don't understand
Long
how he
life.
lived.
He didn't have a long
I don't
life.
think he had
Yeah,
a
he
long.
did.
What?
He's an old man. He was like 70 or 80 when they met him. He has known Arwen for 80 years. You guys didn't catch that?
No.
And then he finally grew old. But he was old.
Cultural differences.
Fine.
So that
Producer Nate, if you could give me an answer on how he had unnatural
So you're
life.
saying
He
that
does not look 80.
You're saying
He looks great.
You're saying
He
the
looks
thing,
great for his
the,
age.
If
the,
I look like that at 80,
As I understood
Let's
it,
go.
the
he
elixir she gave him, whatever that thing
Yeah.
is that he wears, is
gave
giving him some
gave
sort
im-
of.
immortal life. And he wasn't as old as Elrond.
I think Viggo's a fantastic actor.
I don't think it gave him immortal life.
He was unnaturally. Yeah, he lived longer. Like it addresses that.
I do believe he may have lived longer, but it didn't just give him immortal life. Why would she?
I do not remember.
He
him
turned
being-
away the immortal life. Like he could have gone away with her and lived to be immortal and live forever.
I just don't remember him being that old.
Yeah.
I mean, he
Nate's gonna
ages.
look it up.
He
We'll
ages
look
at
it up for the
one
next
point
episode.
when Elrond and Liv Tyler are looking forward. You see how old he gets, but I was just under the impression that was like that was him at 80 or 90 or whatever. But I haven't read the books.
I
so-
have two questions before I make Rem feel awesome.
He's 87.
Wow. Okay, that would hold up then.
That's
He's
what I'm saying.
87 in this timeline.
Yep.
Wow.
He lived to 210. So
Nice.
So does it say how he was immortal? Like, did he have some sort of? He was
The
being
age of
protected by
men.
Elrond.
It's the age
he
of
lived.
men.
He lived among the elves. That's how he knew.
Oh well, that's probably
Arwen.
it, right?
But he had some sort of either he was taking something to be immortal.
This is
or-
something you're getting from the books. That
No, I'm telling you. Maybe it was the extended version, but like it says in the movies that he's in his 80s.
I take it
Actually,
back.
I'm pretty
That
sure it's
girl,
on the regular.
that girl doesn't look 40. She just doesn't look. I don't know. The close-ups, right there. She looks
I've got
fine.
a Julie Roberts take somewhere in here. Hold on.
Oh.
What is the
disappointing.
what is the last ship? What is the last ship that Frodo gets on? What does that represent?
You know what's fascinating is Elliot actually told me that J.R.R. Tolkien hated allegory
Yeah.
and that he did not mean for this to be allegory,
Oh wow.
but it totally is.
Yeah. What? So what is the last ship
It
represent?
is, dude. It is.
No, I'm not saying it's not. I don't know that his hate for allegory was in this book.
No, I'm just saying that he didn't want it to be. He actually not. He didn't want it to be called Lord of the Rings. He wanted it to be called War of the Ring. But it was coming out of World War II, and
True.
his publishers were like, no, you can't call it that. And so much of this was another note from Eliot, so I just want to cite my sources here, but he said that the good versus evil was Tolkien and his love of like all these things that he's found beautiful, like songs and nature and all these things, and then you've got the machines and the nastiness and the ugliness on the other side, and that some of his best friends, like almost all of his best friends, died in World War II. And one of them specifically had encouraged him to write more and loved the poetry and went and died. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
The way that World War II just impacted so much art and everything else. And I don't know. We
Does
seem
seem
like
like
we're
a
living right
much-
now in just a time of like blah, comparatively.
Like not as much art.
Not that I want that, but like the biggest event in our lives was 9/11, and that impacted so many people.
You could make
in
the
so many
argument
ways.
that the biggest event in our life was 2020.
Yeah,
I would say
think
COVID.
9/11
I would say most people like 9/11 is interesting because there's so much controversy around it. Was it an inside job? The amount of people that died is significantly less than a lot of other countries' more memorable, epic acts of terrorism. And so for the entire world to be shut down for millions of deaths unknowingly, I don't think you can argue that COVID is like the most epic thing during our lifetime.
I think it's yet to be seen how that impacts like art and poetry and everything else. Though.
COVID?
Yeah, because everything feels normal now.
I don't know. That's interesting. It definitely impacted it. It impacts it maybe for the worse because a lot of people like stopped being creative. Like a lot of AI came out of it. AI is interesting because a lot of people think that AI is going to be the death of poetry and
I don't think so
songs.
at all.
I don't think so either. I think it's going to be really easy. I already can see an email or Facebook post immediately that's using
Me too.
ChatGPT. Now, will it get better? Yes. But I think what it will be is a tool for the people who really want to take it to the next level. I hope.
And I think it will highlight those that are able to do it without it more because so many will lean on it. And not to say you shouldn't utilize it, but I think you can tell, like to your point, an authentic, genuine post
Sure.
versus the
Nothing's going to replace experience and stories. So like if you have story-based relational marketing, relational storytelling, relational writing, nothing's going to replace that. AI, you can't
I agree.
you can't fake real life events.
Yeah,
Like you can, but it's
you also can't you can't you can't fake relationships and time. And to me, those
I have met
things
some
are gonna-
girls who would argue with that comment, but keep going.
Okay, but to me, those things are going to remain at a premium.
Yeah.
You know, it's actually one of the reasons why, like, many of these long form podcasts and stuff, I think are so popular is because, like, people aren't having long conversations.
this is the relation. We're the
Anymore.
relationship.
No, I'm just saying that there's things that come up in long conversations that don't
Not gonna happen in the 90-second
you don't get
snippet.
from quick little snippets or reels or whatever.
I think it's fading too, because like, people are kind of tired of that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
They're tired of that stuff.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so too. It's not real. You know, moments that made
I see what you
Marcus
did there.
cry. Should
not
we?
real.
Should we go there?
You still didn't answer my question. What does the last ship represent? Frodo, Gandalf.
Well,
A couple of those get on the
okay,
ship. What is
so? If you notice, Frodo doesn't, and I will say that the 7 endings was kind of frustrating to me in the theaters.
I understand that.
But
I didn't hate it as much.
I think what it's trying to do is complete Frodo's journey, and it's showing you in all these different places where Frodo's just not content after this. Like, he's been changed by this journey and by this ring.
Same thing with Bilbo.
And Bilbo was too. And so when it's time for the age of man and his journey is over, he sails off to, is it Valendor, something like that. He sails off to the eternal life, the place where the elves go, where they live eternally. And I think implication is that he's going to live there eternally.
Got it.
So, he's done.
Is that where just
He's not-
everybody
he's not
eventually
coming
goes,
back.
or no? This is
I don't
a
think so.
Select.
No, because they said that he told the other hobbits that they gave Bilbo a special
Right.
pass,
Right.
which
Right.
they also must have given him.
Like they're going to
So-
give us a Sundance.
Moment that was a moment that made me cry
Oh.
right there at the end, when he's looking at his friends and you see him smile for the first time since for a very long time. You see him like genuinely,
Yep.
really smile.
There's this take going
Um,
around on the internet that he doesn't know Legolas's name. Because if you watch all the
never says
people-
his name?
He never says his name.
That's funny.
And like there's also this take that he doesn't even know who Legolas is. Like, because if you watch, everyone comes in, he goes, Sam! And Legolas comes in
Yeah,
and
that's so
just
corny.
doesn't look at him. Yeah.
Is it wild to think that group that was at, what was the meeting in Fellowship of the Ring where they hadn't decided who the Fellowship would be, but they were all around a circle table?
At Rivendell.
Is it
Yeah.
crazy to believe that all those men would be like, yes, Frodo, Hobbit, you take the ring? Isn't that kind of wild?
Well, he says that he will, and
well, yeah.
Gandalf is like, yeah, you
that
do
much
this.
ego. Oh, is it because Gandalf backs him up right away?
I think part of that too, though, is like he's unassuming and non-threatening.
Correct.
So if you're Boromir, you don't want Aragorn doing it.
so. It's like,
you don't
hey,
want
you're
Legolas
the
doing it.
best option. That's not
Yeah,
me.
it's like,
Yep.
okay, I'll let him do it because that doesn't hurt my ego. It's actually the perfect thing because
Yes.
no one's going to be
Okay,
jealous
that's
of
a good
Hobbit.
point.
Can
Yep.
you guys guess the other two times I cried? You're starting to hit on one of them.
When Bing Bong died. Bing Bong dies.
Not when I cry.
This is when Brett cried.
It's
during
not when I
Inside Out.
cry.
Bing Bong?
It's not
Yeah,
when I
dude.
cry.
We're talking.
It's when
Inside
sad
Out.
Kelsey and I'll tell
Are we
the
talking
story.
about
I'll
Inside
tell
Out?
the story. It's my story. It's my story.
I did
Kelsey
not
and
cry during Inside Out.
Well, Brett did, and it's when Bing Bong
I
died.
cry almost every time.
So-
it's not when
is
Bing
that
Bong
because
died.
is that
Listen.
because her name is Riley?
Listen,
It's
Inside Out, Kelsey and I are watching. We're like, wow, it was really good. Brett's like,
It is
yeah,
good.
I cried, and we're like, really, but we didn't get any details. So we watched it.
You're
We
like,
watched
Bing
it,
Bong.
and and Bing Bong dies, and I'm like, is this where Brett cried?
It's when sadness finds out she matters.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, you should cry about it,
Why
I don't
should
think so.
you cry?
dude.
But-
it's beautiful.
Tell
It is
me
beautiful,
what
but I
strikes
don't
you.
know.
I didn't personally cry during that part, nor did I cry when Bing Bong dies. Why? What about that makes you?
Because I think we're so stuck on making people happy all the time. Like anytime somebody's sad, it's like, let's make them happy. And it's like, no, sadness has a purpose. There's meaning to you having the emotion
And so your
of being sad.
your
It actually,
response to that is
it actually
you
fixed
get sad?
Riley. No, it was
okay. So this is personal.
no.
You said it fixed Riley.
The girl's name in the movie is Riley.
You can see where I went. You can see where I got confused there.
No, it was that. Yeah,
Dude, it is crazy. Since having kids, the
Yes.
things that I cry at, how quickly I cry,
Mm.
and like a lot of it happens just watching them in certain settings
Yeah.
where I'm not directly with them. Like chapels, I sit up and I watch it happen. I watch these 250 kids singing songs, and I watch them engage. I watch them at sports. I watch them with their cousins at your house. And if I'm not careful, like I'll just catch myself like in very quickly thinking like very deep thoughts about how much I love and appreciation I have and gratitude towards God for giving me such like an in-depth love for another, human, or four in this case.
it is unique, and nothing else is like it.
I mean, it's nothing else is like it.
Um,
Which makes the love for your spouse so much more important and powerful because it is and should be greater than the love for your kids.
yes, but I would say
It's more difficult.
You have to be more intentional
It
and
is.
try
It's
harder.
work.
It's not built in.
Right.
It's not automatic. With your kids, it's automatic.
Isn't that
So you guys
wild?
saying there's no such thing as true love?
Two of Mawish.
My second question.
But that's not what he
Hold
said.
on, we didn't
He
come to the
clearly
next two
said
times that made
two
me cry.
blade.
Well, I haven't asked my second question
Which means
before.
to bluff.
Second question
Get
before
back, witch.
Marcus
I'm not a witch, I'm
cries and before I give Remus flowers.
Ooh, nice.
Do
I
we-
haven't gotten flowers in like 5 episodes.
Do we see Frodo's left hand
flowers,
again?
You don't get flowers.
After Frodo's finger gets bitten off, do we ever see it again?
Yeah.
You do? You see it with no finger, like
Yeah.
half a finger?
Yeah.
You do.
Oh yeah, it's very bloody and you,
Well, no. I'm saying after that scene, do we
you
see
see a
it-
little nub.
Do we see a nub?
I wasn't paying that much attention.
Nobody saw a nub?
Wasn't looking for
Huge
nubs. You're
missed
the only one that looks
opportunity.
for nubs.
Okay.
Dude, if nobody saw the nub, then it doesn't matter.
If no one sees the nub and it falls in the forest, does it exist?
Good
All right.
question.
Marcus, when else did you cry?
Well, I was gonna have you guys guess.
Well, I mean, it's a 7-hour epic, so just tell us.
All right. I also cried when Gandalf and Pippin are basically sitting there and they're in the middle of the battle,
Yeah.
and he says, "I didn't think this was how I was gonna die."
He goes, "This isn't it. This
Yeah.
isn't the end of the story."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought that part was beautiful. They're essentially accepting death, right?
But what's
Um,
interesting about this, Marcus, is if he truly isn't writing allegorical, like what is he trying to say in those moments if it's not about
I
the
mean,
afterlife?
he's
and,
certainly
like,
writing about humanity. He's writing about like, who
I'm
we are.
confused at what point J.R. Tolkien found Christianity, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know
I
either.
think it was actually through this writing.
Maybe.
I think it was the
don't
time he
know
was writing.
enough
I think
to
he struggled
say.
while he wrote Lord of the Rings. I don't know that he was a Christian when he wrote The Hobbit. And he wrote with C.S. Lewis. C.S. Lewis is writing tons of allegory around
Yeah,
Christianity.
but he influenced C.S. Lewis though.
I know. But it wasn't
For
always-
Christ.
I'm unclear
At
about
least
that
that's
whole
my
thing.
that's my impression.
There's-
Anyway,
yeah.
I don't know, so I can't really comment.
Yeah.
Um,
Let's do more research and talk about it on a podcast.
that sounds like a good idea.
Are
Nate,
you
can
ever
do
going to
some
open that
research for
Modelo?
us?
I don't have a bottle opener.
Oh, I do right here.
I would love it.
Oh, jeez. It's attached.
Producer Nate, could you
It's
open the bottle of Modelo's?
All right. So the other big one was when the hobbits bow down to Aragorn, and he says, "Oh no, you
Yeah.
bow to no
Yeah.
man."
Yes.
And then they bow to him,
Yeah.
bow to them.
You cry
And-
at that?
Oh yeah.
Really?
It's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big win for short.
Are you crying
people.
right now?
It's a big win for short people.
That's a great scene. I wish I would have cried. I didn't.
Short,
But I-
hairy
I
people.
should've.
It's a huge win for short, hairy people.
Did you cry at the Passion?
I mean, that's my grandson.
I've
Or
never cried at
that's-
Passion. I've gotten
that's my
very
nephew.
angry.
Mm-hmm.
I think
That
we
was
talked
my
about
nephew.
this.
We did talk about
I
this.
get
I'm
angry.
surprised you guys don't.
I get
cry.
angry. I get so mad. I get so angry for Christ.
I
I
think
get
you
so
guys-
mad.
I think that the only reason you wouldn't cry. I thought about this when I listened back to that episode. The only reason that you wouldn't cry at the Passion is if you just don't realize your own sinfulness. But seriously,
Let me give Remus flowers. Rem is right. Sam is the hero. Period. End of story. Like, and I'm not discounting what Frodo probably had the hardest, like, to even
was
get
the
it that
biggest
far.
burden.
Yeah, biggest burden. But Sam's
He's the hero.
we don't. Things get taken back
Gosh,
over
this
by
part's
Sauron with
awesome.
that without to.
Yeah.
when he claims
When the
he's
dead
king.
guy's sword hits his real sword and then he grabs him by
Yeah.
the neck.
Were you guys getting
Epic.
some Pirates of the Caribbean
Epic.
vibes there? By the way,
Now I am. Yeah. Now I am.
this is what I'm saying. My
Yeah.
kids were pointing to all these other movies, and they're like, they just copied off of Lord of the Rings. And I'm like, yeah, man.
Notice how the one person that doesn't share our viewpoint changed the subject very quickly for my flowers.
Oh,
Sam is the
sorry.
hero.
I'm not saying Sam isn't a hero.
No,
Saying
he's
Sam is the hero,
hero.
is a little weak.
Even
who
J.R.
would-
Tolkien said it.
So who would you say
my
is
God.
the
Prove me
hero?
wrong.
Who would you say is the hero? You'd say Frodo, and I get it. I understand.
You know,
he
didn't
even
I think that the
destroy
Lord of the
ring.
Rings is about Frodo. and it's
Agreed.
about his journey.
I'll tell you for the filming.
He wrote it, as a matter of fact. We know this from the end. He wrote it, right? He wrote Lord of the Rings.
I'm gonna bring this. I'm gonna bring this full circle in terms of
Aragorn might be the hero.
Frodo. In terms of Frodo, in terms of crying. Listen to this fun fact. You ready? On Elijah.
Hold on,
Wood's-
real quick. Aragorn is Andre Iguodala. All right, keep going.
Whoa!
I mean that in the best way possible. The
glue?
Warriors do
The
not
glue?
win 2 or 3 other championships without Andre Iguodala, but it's the Steph Curry show, and Steph is amazing, but they needed Iguodala.
On Elijah Wood's final day of filming, all the actors went through tearful goodbyes when they finished, but Elijah's was the most tearful. Peter Jackson kept doing take after take of Frodo saying, "There's room for a little more," clearly not wanting the experience to end. When he finally called cut and print, the room erupted with applause, and Jackson broke down crying, hugging Elijah and thanking him repeatedly at the culmination of their epic film journey together.
That was the last thing they filmed.
Was him and it was just him and Elijah Wood like filming one of the scenes.
There's room for a little bit more.
There's room for more, and who knows if they actually used it? You can just see the director.
I love that meme.
Can you
I sent
imagine
you guys
being
today,
in
by
the
the way.
room, like watching Peter Jackson just struggle? Like he's got it. What is he doing? And then you realize he just doesn't want it to end.
So
Like,
do you know
that's
for the
pretty bad. That's what
Hobbit-
would make me cry.
Do you know for The Hobbit, Peter Jackson didn't want to do it?
Yes. What is the
And-
story?
Well, Peter Jackson didn't want to do it. They had a different director. I think it might have been Guillermo del Toro
Okay.
that was set to do it, and then backed out. And Peter Jackson didn't trust anybody else, so he did it anyway.
Yeah.
Which is why they're just not as good.
People,
'Cause he just didn't want
I'll
to.
tell you this right now.
It is not as good.
The take that it is not as good and it was rushed is a dumb take, and it's by people who know too much about the backstory and don't just watch the movie.
No, I'm saying even if you just watch the movies, like
It's so
I
good.
could watch these 3 movies every
Bilbo's
single year.
character
and
is
be
more
really
likable than
excited about
Frodo.
that.
Bilbo's character is more likable than Frodo. That's the first thing. The actor that plays him, the character itself is more redeeming. It's very good. The storytelling, the epic, the graphics, and the actual like film is 20 years later. So
This
it's
is a
just
trilogy?
better.
It's 3?
Yeah, it's 3. And
Yeah,
the-
but the story itself is not as good.
I will give you that the story. I mean, that's the only thing that makes Lord of the Rings even in the conversation for me is the book and the story. And
This
how
is one of the
epic it
greatest
is.
stories
It is.
ever told.
It is. Movie wise, Hobbit does it for me.
I don't think so. Not for me. I think that with those movies, I was talking to our buddy Rod from Pendleton, or Fortville, maybe Fortville.
No, from Nashville.
Nashville,
area. I think
yeah.
Memphis, maybe?
Yeah,
New Zealand?
He said, I thought he said it really well. He said,
That looks.
I watch. He said, I can watch the Lord of the Rings trilogy over and over again. I've watched the Hobbit trilogy once, and I don't need to watch it again. And I think that
There are
is
movies I
true.
can rewatch over and over that I would score lower than a movie I will only watch once.
fair.
So, I think it's time for quotes. Unless you guys got
What about
anything else.
trilogies?
I'm ready for quotes. I'm going to move.
Do it.
Okay, Gimli. Dangerous over short distances.
That was funny.
That's great.
What can
Built
man
for distance.
What can man do against such reckless hate?
Mm.
But then he says, "At dawn, look to the east." And there's Christ imagery in that.
So, Brett, to your point, I put, we dwarves are natural sprinters.
I'm now realizing how many of my quotes are Gimli. That one counts as mine.
That is good.
Oh, when he kills the elephant.
Yeah.
How about when the Uruk-hai or whatever falls down, he's like, looks like meat's back on the menu, boys.
So these are all Gimli.
No,
No, that was the orc.
That was the orc.
that was
yeah,
orc.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's
But this is Gimli.
Tree? I am no tree.
I'll have no pointy ear outscoring me.
that's racist.
That does sound pretty racist.
I know
Jeez.
you've run out. You smoke too much, Pippin. That is the funniest line.
Stupid fat hobbit.
Hobbitses.
I liked this from Gandalf. Hail the victorious dead. I like that. They died in battle, but they're victorious.
So, like most movies, I fell asleep before the end. I don't know who says this. Last spoken line of the movie. Well, I'm back. It's also the last line of the book. Who says that? Did you guys both fall asleep?
Well, I'm back.
Well, I'm back.
That's the last line of the movie?
Last line of the movie. None of us saw it.
Hold on.
I saw it,
Let me
but
see
I
if I
don't-
wrote it down.
I didn't
Who
not
said
see it.
Who's in the? What's the last scene?
No, the last one I wrote. The last quote I wrote down is, "My friends, you bow to no one."
It's Frodo, right? Frodo walks into the Shire and he goes, "I'm back."
No. The,
Or
it would have to be Sam.
It'd have to be Sam because Frodo's
Frodo
gone.
sails
and
out.
Potatoes. Boil 'em, mash 'em, put 'em in a stew.
Potatoes.
It burns.
Your impressions are uncanny over
Thank you. I'm crushing it. Trained actor over here.
there. In Greenland.
So I have a quote here that I put a note.
Unemployed
I had a note.
in Greenland.
I had a note.
I knew you couldn't let it go without redoing it.
I had a note that Riley openly chuckled, but I don't know what it's from. Now that I'm here, I don't think I want to.
That's a different. That was not in the movie.
Just
That was you guys.
Wow.
Nate's gonna look it up.
The Netflix
Now that
and
I'm
chill
here,
moment.
now that I'm here, I don't.
Oh man!
Yeah,
I'll
that
let you
was
guys
just-
fill in the blanks.
That was
there.
just
Another Gimli.
this is a normal night.
Certainty of death, small chance of success. What are we waiting for?
I love that line. Yeah, that's a good one.
fool of a took. That's in the first one.
Marcus, you said it, but I'm gonna steal it. I can't carry it for you, but I can carry you.
Hmm.
Don't tell the elf. when he's
When he
gonna,
throws
when
him?
he says he's gonna throw him. I love that part.
Oh, here, so like in that epic scene where he hits swords against each other with a dead guy, the dead do not suffer the living to pass. You will suffer me. That was epic.
I think, did one of you say this? I'm sorry if you did. What can man do against such reckless hate?
Yeah, you never hear my quote.
Well, Rem, you said it during.
Ride out.
Did you say it
Ride
before
out
quotes?
And meet it.
No.
You said it during
I
quotes.
just said it.
Ride out and meet it. So good.
It made Marcus cry. My
Not that
friends,
specific part.
you kneel to no one.
That did. Hmm.
More quotes?
Oh, I gotta look.
Rock and roll.
Here it is.
Courage is the best defense now. Courage.
This is the worst line in the movie. I'm seeing it again. I will kill you if you touch him. That's the whole point of war. Tell me that's not the worst line in any war movie.
Well,
Can you imagine?
She still meant it.
Dude, she's standing up to the Witch King.
Okay, imagine
right.
Gimli saying, I'm going to kill you.
Okay. She's standing up to the Witch King.
Oh
though.
my gosh, we're making excuses
Let's
for a terrible
go.
line.
I mean, it was not that bad.
Here's a
Put
good friend.
aside the ranger, become who you were born to be.
That's about Aragorn.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Just wanted to show off my knowledge of who the ranger
He was the ranger.
Just wanted to show off my knowledge.
Yep, and he was also born to be the king.
It's pretty epic when he says, I do not fear death. And then he walks into the cave.
I've already said a lot of these.
We got hidden
Yep,
gems
I think
next.
that's it. Yep.
All right. What are our hidden gems? Movie magics.
I got some fun facts. So 100,000 people lined the streets of Wellington, New Zealand for the world premiere. The world premiere was in New Zealand, which I think is pretty appropriate.
Great. Yeah.
Roughly 1/4 of the city's population.
Oh, wow.
100,000 people.
Wow.
Another fun fact, Sir Peter Jackson is an arachnophobic, and he based the Shelob design on types of spiders that he fears.
Do you ever see him when you guys go to your like night meetings?
He is typically zooming in.
He zooms in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are
He's-
you?
Takes
what,
a lot of trips.
what are you talking about right now? Who?
When we have meetings for all the knights, the men who have been knighted. Which, by the way, for the first time in 50 episodes, you did not say "sir," and I was gonna let it go, but I'm kind of pissed off about it.
My bad.
Okay, I said in Hidden Gems, no way do they fall for the old man with the stick trick.
Yeah. You wouldn't
Take
take
his stick.
a walking stick from an old
No
man.
chance do they fall for that trick. Right?
I don't know. There's a lot of more believable movies.
I've got another movie magic. The fact that they can. What are the things called that they're riding while they fly?
Horses?
No, I said fly. Unless you know of flying horses.
Pegasus.
Nazguls?
The
I think?
Nazguls. Thank you. The fact that they can quote unquote hide from those is unbelievable. Sorry,
What?
it's not
Because
happening.
Like under rocks and
Nazguls
stuff?
don't have eyes or what?
They hide under bushes.
You can
So
you can
the wing
see
wraiths?
through rocks.
No, they're under a bush, like a normal bush.
You hide it under a bushel.
Okay, here we go.
Legolas in the battle multiple times. He like swings up on a horse from the wrong side. Movie magic.
Yeah, well, it's any.
No, that's supposed to show how epic of a war hero Legolas is. He can walk on snow.
Yeah,
Like he doesn't.
movie magic.
It's not movie magic.
It's
elves.
elf magic.
Yeah.
Okay, fair
He
enough.
does the same thing
Elves
on the
are angels.
The
Elf magic.
elephant.
Did you notice that? Like everyone else is like buried in the snow and he's walking on top of it because he's weightless.
Yeah,
Did you
that
notice
is pretty awesome. I also thought that the Ents, like you talked about that, how epic that is and how satisfying it is when the water comes down.
Yeah.
The one Ent that's on fire and
Yeah,
then
and
quenches
buries it
himself
like broccoli.
is just fantastic. That's a hidden gem for me.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
More hidden gems?
Yeah, originally Andy Serkis, who played Gollum, was pitched to just do voiceover work for 3 weeks in New Zealand. So he flies over there, and Peter Jackson loved him so much he gave him the whole role and had him do the movements
Oh,
too.
cool.
Yeah, and he's had a ton of roles since Gollum
That's cool.
because of this. We talk about actors getting injured. So Viggo Mortensen broke 2 toes while kicking that steel helmet. And when he screams, it was literally in pain. But Peter Jackson thought it was impressive that he just acted through the pain, so they left it in there.
Nice.
So if you rewatch it, like he's screaming because he broke 2 toes. That's funny. Yeah. So the Battle of Helm's Deep it took them so long. They cut it down from 20 hours of footage.
Holy cow.
Can you imagine looking through 20 hours of footage just for like a scene that's...
As someone who has edited a 60-minute podcast, that's
I mean,
that's crazy.
all the different angles.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I saw what was the cut of Lord of the Rings that like recently came out? It was called the somebody had a different cut that wasn't the Peter Jackson one for Lord of the Rings.
They cut a lot out and just got straight to it.
So
or
we
what?
had extended edition.
Yeah.
And then there was another cut
'Kay.
that came out that did pretty well. I can't remember what it was. But I saw a meme that said, after seeing the success of that cut, Peter Jackson wanted to put out the Peter Jackson cut, and it was 8.5 days. And then the fan was like, nah, I was hoping for more.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's true. I mean, people want more. I mean, that's why
Dude.
he did The Hobbit, and it was better.
I had so much anxiety during
better.
the spider scene.
Yeah, you're not a
Yeah.
spider guy.
Are we rating these individually, or are we rating them as...
I'm rating the last 2 together is
Yeah.
what I decided.
'Cause this is
And then you
part
can give
2.
a trilogy
That's fine.
rating if you'd like.
That works.
There's not really any rules. More hidden gems?
I got one more. I'm trying to look for it.
If we hurry, we're not going to get to where the clock says 99 and 99 stops.
That's not true. I got nothing. Good movie.
Got nothing. Head back to camp. Rating time. We're doing
99999.
2 Towers and Return of the King together.
I'm giving them all 9s.
I'm an 8.8.
I'm an 8.9.
Nice.
An 8.9. Just couldn't quite give it the 9.
They are so good, and watching my kids watch them for the first time just confirmed it for me. There is something magical
It is.
about these movies.
It is
I
epic.
agree with that.
Okay. Early on, 20 episodes ago, we talked about our favorite trilogies. You had said The Matrix was your favorite trilogy.
Yeah.
Now that we've watched all 3 of these in a week,
I call recency bias.
I
On
want
that
to
take.
see if you've rethought your Matrix trilogy.
Did I say Matrix was my favorite?
You said it was
I
your
think you
favorite
said after
trilogy.
we watched the first one,
You
were
said,
like,
I'm pretty sure. I think
I'm
this is
pretty
my
sure
favorite."
this is my favorite trilogy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe even favorite franchise.
Hold his feet to the fire rim. What else you got?
That's close. I feel like, to be fair, I would need to watch the other two. Like, I need to watch the 3 Matrixes this week, and then,
all right.
and then
So
report
next week,
back to you guys.
We're gonna
ahead.
do Matrix 2 and 3.
There's no possible way that the Matrix trilogy compares to this trilogy.
Man,
It's
they're really
entertaining and in a much different way.
good. It's different. Well, it's not. I mean, they're both really good.
Star Wars.
I think that Lord of the Rings is probably better than the Matrix.
Star Wars
now that
franchise
I've
is up there for me.
Rewatch them all.
Star Wars as an entire 9 movie story. Even just the 3 movies that came out that are terrible, that when I was a kid, I still like them more. I'm nostalgic about
You're talking
it.
about episodes
I like the
1, 2,
Taco
3?
Bell peel off game that we played
All
with
the
Star Wars.
Mountain Dew and
Oh
Pepsi
my
Pepper and
gosh.
Yeah.
Pepsi. And,
Couldn't get enough of it. Monopoly, Star Wars.
You're a consumerist. I get
I
it.
am.
Yeah.
I am. I like that. Indiana Jones is up there for me. Lord of the Rings is top 3.
Never seen
trilogies.
Indiana Jones.
Oh, it's for sure top 3. I think it. I don't know.
As a whole, like
I
there's
just
some
watched them all.
movies. So the Dark Knight saga, that individual
3 are-
movie
Yeah.
is better than any of the movies. But as a trilogy, I don't know that I would rank it higher than
I
Lord
don't
of
know
the
that I
Rings.
would say Dark Knight.
I'm saying specifically the Dark Knight, which is pretty epic.
is
like,
better than any of these 3.
Yeah, I would. I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know, but that would be an example where the Dark Knight is definitely better than Batman Begins and Dark Knight Rises.
Correct.
Whereas this one is pretty even for the entire trilogy. That's pretty.
it's
rare.
pretty. This one is pretty even
That's
throughout
that's
all
pretty.
3
That's
movies.
pretty rare.
I agree.
Well, because this one definitely, I don't, and
Being
maybe
shot
I need,
all at the same time is a
maybe I need to
advantage.
rewatch Dark Knight trilogy, but this feels like it could be one movie. I don't remember that feeling.
for the Dark Knight.
No,
No,
you
did
it
not.
definitely is
You
3
would
separate.
not have had that.
three
Yeah, so
separate
I think
movies.
that's
Yeah.
why it feels like it's this. Like, wow, these are
Matrix
all
does
equal.
feel that way though.
Yeah.
There is different elements in each movie, though. Like you can distinctly remember which movie has which element for Lord of the Rings. It's not like just happens at the end of the movie, happens at the
It's
beginning.
one
I think
story.
Rem
though.
started this conversation because of your 99 comment, and he's succeeded. What's next? Well,
9.
I know Marcus and I are watching Mean Girls this week. I don't know. Will Rem rewatch it? We'll find
Probably.
out.
I don't need a reason to watch Mean
No,
Girls.
I don't know. Shoe Dog, which I'll tell you what, freaking awesome book. Like the
Where does it
Michael
rank?
the Michael
Is Shoe
Jordan
Dog
takes
the best written book that we've read?
best written.
Educated is pretty good.
Christmas Carol was pretty good.
I wouldn't put that on the.
I'm just saying this, like. in
I'll
terms
tell
of
you,
written.
it listens better than Hillbilly Elegy.
dude.
Then we got Top Gun Maverick, followed by Karate.
The Karate Kid.
And I
I'm
believe
looking forward to that.
this is
Danielson?
spawned from. There's a new Karate Kid coming out,
Yeah.
very close to that.
Cobra
That's really
Kai. You
fun
guys
stuff.
watch Cobra Kai?
No, man,
Oh,
but
you
know
haven't
who-
watched Cobra
the
Kai?
two biggest
Any of it?
Cobra Kai fans I know on Earth, Chris Hammond and Jeff Bry.
Cobra Kai is fun.
Yeah,
Cool.
It's really good.
Have to
It's
watch
great.
it.
Got any good lines from Karate Kid and Cobra Kai?
Wax
Wax
on,
on, wax off. Yeah, exactly.
We're out.